Oh, YouTube, how I've missed you so much. Let me just make sure that my stuff is working. Okay, I have to throw my mouse onto the ground, so give me a second. Okay. Oh, I have my monitor in a new spot so that I can see chat at the same time while doing hand cam. And I actually set up a little table this time, so we're not on my floor today, everybody. All right, checking sound. So I'm not sure what was up with YouTube the last couple of weeks. It just was not accepting any of my feed. But I disconnected everything and reconnected everything, and we should be good to go. So, how's it going? We're gonna be a bit busy today. Okay, it's very obvious when I'm looking at the monitor because my model's turned all the way around. Hold on. Let me just... Is there a way that I can put this? The thing is I can't have it too far away from me because I'm fucking blind. Okay, I think I can read the chat from there. Can I? There we go. That makes it look a little bit better. Now, usually when I do hand cam oh, fuck my coffee. Usually when I do hand cam streams, I try not to do... Well, I don't set up both body and face tracking. But this time, I wanted to see if I could make it work. Okay. Are you ready to go, everybody? Okay. So, bit of context. I'm somebody who... Bang of the chat was the stream. Damn, that's crazy. I'm somebody who's been very much so into this series since I was about 10 or 11. And we were promised a movie in 2000. And so when we got it in 2020, 2021, we were waiting a very long time. Just to put it, like, lightly. And initially the film went through production hell. It was supposed to be done by the Weinstein Company, and it was mostly produced by the Weinstein Company, and then it was pulled out at the last second because of his allegations. Kenneth Branagh ended up making the final film, which is the fucking reason it sucks so much. I don't care what you say, Scotty. It's his fault. It's his fault this film is the shit show it is. And Colin Firth, I think is his name, was casted last second to try and bring star power to the film, and to do that, they added a brand new character into the film specifically made for him that isn't supposed to show up in that books that the movie was based off of. He isn't supposed to show up until late into the second book. Just... Anyway, for those sending supas, I can see the chat moving very fast because I've got a combined chat. I will get to it when I take breaks between stuff. Yes, so I've got paper and the like here. We'll be doing silly things like graphs and charts and comparisons, but also we're going to be doing a breakdown of one of the few licensed pieces of Artemis Fowl merch that's ever been made, which is unfortunately a Funko Pop. There's been almost no merch made for this series, which is a fucking shame. So I'm going to take full advantage of the little piece that we have, and because somebody on Throne bought me a duplicate, I feel no remorse in dissecting this. Do you think Artemis Fowl would work as a musical, like theatrical? Oh yeah, it would be awesome as a musical. I don't know exactly how it would translate, but we could break it down. Oh, I've just started and I'm already thirsty. Okay. Okay, so I haven't actually cracked this open yet because this was also sent to me by a subscriber on just a follower of the channel. And it's been sitting on my shelf untouched because as much as I hate Funko Pops, this is a rarity, so I didn't want to damage it. But since I'm getting a duplicate, I feel no remorse now. Now I can open it. On the back, you can see the other two that were released with it. They had an Artemis, and they had a mulch. And they actually... It's not shown on the back, but they released a special Artemis variant with his super cool sunglasses. And that's a rarity. Like, that's like a super rarity. Because they never reprinted these because nobody wanted to buy them. There is only first edition versions of the Artemis Fowl vinyl pops. Pop vinyls. And even less with the sunglasses. So I'm really hoping that the 3-pack I got has the sunglasses variant, because that would be really cool. Sad no Nendroids, I wish. The way that they pick who gets to be a character for an Nendroid is actually very interesting. When I went down to Anime Expo in the States, I actually met one of the people that works for Good Smile. I was in the airport and I was going to go, I was waiting for my flight, and he saw my Good Smile bag. He's like, "Oh, hey, I worked at the booth for this con. So why were you here?" And me and him had a nice long conversation. I told him that I was a VTuber, and he gave me the secrets. He gave me the secrets as to how they pick who gets to be an Nendroid, and why it's not so common that VTubers get picked, but there's specific reasons why they get picked and why there's so few male Nendroids. And he didn't give me his name, so I can't out who he is. Lamal. Alright, let's pull this out of the box. Ugh. There we go. Alright. So let's just put you off to the side for now. We won't use you till the end. Let's take you out of your plastic casing. What's interesting is that in all of the advertisements for the specific vinyl, they either show the wings as being completely see-through with black lines all over them, or completely opaque. This is somewhere in between, which I actually prefer the most because it's the most book accurate. I have so many things to say about everything, and honestly, the outfit and the helmet is probably the best part. I'm wondering how I'm going to cut the visor off and be able to put it back on without destroying the integrity of the whole thing, but we'll get there. Did I buy this unironically? I didn't buy it at all. That's the best part. So, first, let's do a little bit of lore. So, book 1 for Artemis Fowl. Now, I have a bunch of them in storage right now, so I don't have my favorite copy, but I do have the version that I rebound myself. Rebound. I reskinned it. I didn't do a proper binding of the newest edition of Artemis Fowl, which is the one that was a movie tie-in. And the reason I reskinned it is because even though the cover was absolutely gorgeous, it said filmed by Disney and a big fake sticker on the front, and that made me want to vomit. And I preferred the look of the original OG covers anyway, that make it look like a golden tome. Oh wow, this is so shiny. I wonder if I can see my face in it. Hold on. I can! Alright, I'm gonna have to be very strategic about how I angle this cover. Otherwise, you guys are getting a fucking face reveal. Okay. We're just gonna... No, it's not too late for that. You can't... you can see, a weird warping of, the shadow of my face, sort of. But I think, actually, what can you see? Can you see... If I do this, no? What are you looking at exactly? Not sure. Anyway, so this is the reprint, and you can tell because they use the inferior font for the front cover. They don't use Mason Super Bold, which is absolutely the best. If you look at I have an original copy of the second book here, and they use Mason Super Bold, which is arguably the most attractive font known to humanity. If you use Mason Super Bold, it's a good book. Anyway, so, inferior. As well, the newest versions of Artemis Fowl, the reprints, they use the Disney language. Now, what I mean by this, you see how the bottom's gold? That's because I covered the Disney redo language in the first few chapters. But if you go to the back, you see I ran out of time. Here, in Artemis Fowl, they have a whole unique alphabet system that was created for the world building and for the series, and it runs along the bottoms of all of the books. In the Disney version, they remade the whole alphabet so that they could have full creative control or something, and it's utter dog shit now. It's so hard to write and it's so hard to read. It's garbage. But if you have the original version, it's here. You've got the... Oh. Where is it? Interesting. Oh, this is I should be careful with this one. Holy shit. Okay, so how Artemis Fowl reprints worked is the very first editions had no alphabets, and the first reprints had alphabets. And it was like after about 10 reprints that they started doing new covers. This is a first print! I didn't realize that until just now! I gotta be careful with that. Okay, anyway, the alphabet's in here. I've got two versions. I got the hard copy and the soft copy of the files, but they also have extra stories and the original alphabet in an actual graph here, so I can just show you real quick. Where is it? I'll find it in just a sec. But yeah, no, this has been my major brainworm for the majority of my life. Oh, actually, this is just as important because we're going to be looking at these diagrams when we're dissecting Holly's design, because there was, at the very start, like very clear design choices that the creator of the series had in mind. So Disney actually followed quite a few of them, surprisingly, but some of them, they had some weird creative decisions they took. Doom Guy helmet, that's crazy. No, I don't want the character interviews. I'm looking for the alphabet. Chat. Where's the alphabet? Here we go. So, we got the original Gnomish alphabet here. And, shit was tight. And it would run along the bottoms of all of the books. Let's go back to that helmet here. So, if we want to do like a first cursory thing, before we break down the differences between the movies and the books and Disney, let's break down the Funko Pop, which is one of their very few pieces of merch. So if we look here, the helmet, it's an interesting redesign that leans more into the sci-fi, whereas before they were really leaning into like trying to get that military vibe. Like, they wanted this to be kind of serious with the visuals. They wanted it to be gritty realism, right? And this was designed in 1999, if I remember correctly. This is in a late 2000s version of the design. Very futuristic, very sci-fi in modern terms. Colfer really designed like it was futuristic, but it was also like grim, like gritty. And a lot of the devices that Owen Colfer put in his books that he described as futuristic, that he made in the 90s and early 2000s, were things that ended up actually being developed like 5-10 years after he came up with them, which is fucking insane to me. Like iris cams, like little cameras that are in eye contacts, that was in the third book, I believe, but I believe they might have actually been featured in the first book as well. Those were developed. Those are real now. The C-Cube in book 3 is functionally identical to the iPhone, and that book was released a year or two before the first iPhones dropped. And the iPhones didn't even have a third of the functionality that the C-Cube did. So Owen Colfer predicted the C-Cube. He predicted iris cams, and there's just so many other things. So I'm just waiting for the fucking... I just want people to invent the dragonflies next. I want my dragonflies. Anyway, speaking of, it's interesting the difference between the movie and the book. Dragonflies, because in the book, they're described as like an old version of the model. They're subpar, they don't work, they're clunky, and they're gross. Holly is forced to have them because all of her other teammates in her unit took all of the good ones before her, so she was forced to work with the gross gas-powered one that it worked really shit. And this is what it looked like, and it was like, you know, was what it was. Whereas in the film, they're like, oh, she gets what the book would describe as the hummingbirds, which were like top-of-the-line, super sly and futuristic. Now, I think Holly was the character, besides Artemis, they butchered the most. I can't lie, they butchered every single character to such an insane degree. It's actually really hard to say who they butchered the most, but they had different levels of unique butchering. So, Oh, where to start? Oh, where to start? Oh, where to start? Okay, we're gonna put this off to the side. Now, plot for the novels. Artemis was a 12-year-old boy who was a super genius. And he was evil. That's the best way to summarize. He was evil. He was so smart and so evil that he was barely human. Like, he was uncanny valley to people when they saw him. Like, he terrified the shit out of people. That was his whole charm and character. Was just like, is this a 12-year-old or is this a beast? I can't figure it out. Freaky ass creature. And Artemis Fowl hates sports. He hates going into the sunlight. Like, he is literally described as a vampire, looking like a vampire. Sun did not suit Artemis. Long hours indoors in front of a computer had bleached the glow from his skin. He was as white as a vampire and almost as testy in the light of day. You want to know how they fucking introduced him in the film? They had him riding on a surfboard in the sunlight, and for some reason his black hair was gone. He had like light, tousled, curly brown locks, and he was smiling and happy, and he was stupid. In the film, they took away the one thing that made him interesting. His large vocabulary and the two things. His large vocabulary and his intelligence. Like, his intelligence is what made him interesting, but they turned him into a weird Spy Kids kind of character. And I have a theory as to why, and it's probably close to the truth. And I'll tell you why that theory is actually very damaging and naive on part of the producers. Well, obviously, that's just meant to tell you he's Irish. Gamer, genius to surfer bro. Exactly. So, as well, they talked about how he had, like, lots of friends at the academy and stuff, whereas in the novels, he refused to go to any academy, and whenever he was forced to go to any school, he would make the teachers' and students' lives a living hell because they couldn't stand him. So, in the books, Artemis Fowl is a criminal because his father was a crime lord in Ireland. He has a castle, whatever. And his father goes missing after dealing with the Russian mafia. So, Artemis Fowl, from birth, has been trained by this horrible guy who does every single heinous thing under the planet to be his successor. So that's why he's really smart. That's why he's really quick-witted. That's why he's very ruthless and cruel. In the films, Artemis Sr. is the equivalent of Indiana fucking Jones. He's an artifact collector, and that's code word for secret fairy hunting guy, but he's not a fairy hunter. He helps protect society from fairies and whatnot. He shouldn't know about fairies. They don't exist to him. This guy was literally a crime boss who murdered people in cold blood and did terrible shit, right? Like, he caused misery. Anyway, so first off, they butchered his character. And he wasn't even supposed to be in the film, but they wanted star power, so Colin Firth was cast to be Artemis Fowl's father when he's supposed to be assumed to be dead in this movie. You're not supposed to see him until at least book 2, but they brought him in last second and reshot whole chunks of the film to include him in there. Which is why in half the film, Artemis looks like a year and a half older than he does in some shots, because the character is, like the actor is. Anyway, I digress. So Artemis is no longer evil. He likes going outdoors. He's a puppy dog. He's an all-around good kid. His dad is basically Indiana Jones, as opposed to evil child who's been trained by the most dangerous man in the world, who has a horrible evil reputation that sends people's, like, shivers down people's spine. Even in chapter 1, like, the guy Artemis Fowl is talking to freaks out when he hears his dad's name. Okay? Now, book opens with Artemis Fowl hunting down an elderly woman in the streets of Ho Chi Minh City, poisoning her, blackmailing her, and stealing from her. That scene was cut entirely from the movie, but that was the only scene they actually filmed that was book accurate, and they used it in all their promotion for the film, and they removed it in the final cut of the film. All of the advertisements for the film, they only use footage from that scene, and that's the only scene that's not in the movie. Like, holy fuck, how brain dead do you have to be? Anyway, so from there, they make Holly here, who is the secondary protagonist, white. And here is why this is an issue. They did a bunch of race swapping in the films for diversity's sake, which was a really, really strange idea because Holly was made white, even though in the books she was black. And they made Butler, who is Eurasian in the books, so he's supposed to look like a mix between Japanese and Russian, but leaning more towards some ambiguous Asian ethnicity, because he's a ninja and he comes from a family of trained ninjas. They make him black, and they make his sister black. So they take the black character and make her white, and they take the racially ambiguous Asian characters and they make them black. And the reason this is an issue is because it takes away the very little, like, non-hardcore political black female representation that's out there. She was just a really cool character with a great design, and they stripped that away for whatever reason. And then they took the cool Asian character whose entire backstory is of servitude, and they made it black. They made him and his sister black. Which implies that instead of being ninjas that were contracted by the Fowls, that in the Disney version, they were historically their slaves. Which is like, excuse me, what exactly are you trying to do, Disney? What's going on? Like, Kenneth Branagh, what the absolute fuck are you doing? Anyway, so we're gonna be restoring Holly. You don't remember Holly being black? Oh, here. Chapter 2. Her first sentence in her introduction is that she has nut brown skin with a long with a cherubic face and a long hooked nose. So she might look actually more Indian than black, but she's definitely like an ethnic mix with a darker skin tone. And that is a very important part of her character visually. Okay, chapter 3. Okay. Perhaps a description would be more helpful than a lecture on fairy genealogy. Holly Short had nut brown skin, cropped auburn hair, and hazel eyes. Her nose had a hook, and her mouth was plump and cherubic, which was appropriate considering Cupid was her great-grandfather. Her mother was a European elf with a fiery temper and a willowy figure. Holly, too, had a slim frame with long tapered fingers, perfect for wrapping around a buzz baton. Her ears, of course, were pointed. At exactly 3 feet in height, Holly was only a centimeter below the fairy average. Ha, she's canonically short. Ha. Anyway. No, the goblins are actually in Artemis Fowl are described to be like lizards. And they breathe fire. So, here we can tell that I think it was Tamara Smart who they casted for Holly, or maybe that was for Juliet, I don't remember. But here, it's not orange or auburn or anything, that's just straight up brown hair and very white skin. And instead of casting an adult woman as Holly, because Holly is an adult woman in the books, like she is a straight up woman with jobs and taxes, they cast a child to play her because from what I heard on the grapevine, they wanted to have Artemis and Holly, if there was ever a sequel, become an item, which is, first off, why are you making a child into a soldier then? The Bawa Kel will rise again, that's crazy. Alright. Now, let's see if I can get this off without totally wrecking. And if I totally wreck it, that's fine. Because this is a pop vinyl and it's Disney. But let's try to keep it intact. And like, let's not try to ruin my hands. Holy shit, okay. Hag erasure, exactly. Holly Short is couple hundred years old. She's like, she's part of their reconnaissance team. She, you know, she doesn't fuck around. Now, In the films, they also introduce a villain that isn't in the films. In the film, they also introduce a villain that they make the final boss who isn't in the series until the second book, and they, for some reason, make her an ex-dictator overlord in the film, when in the books, she's just the equivalent of Elon Musk, but like from 5 years ago. 10 years ago's Elon Musk. She's not an evil overlord, well, in theory. She's just like the annoying tech person that everybody's kind of sick of because she's everywhere and she wants all the accolades. But in the book, it's like, ooh, she's got an evil hood on. Ooh, she wants the special secret artifact. Ooh, she's the big bad evil. Anyway. So now that we've got her visor off, which I'm going to try and reuse later on, I'm thinking I might, like, glue it on top of the helmet. Or maybe glue it on the sides, I'm not sure. We're going to be slicing off that fucking nose, by the way. Yeah, so here we can see her hair. Very brown, very hideous, not Holly Short. So yeah, they made Opal Cowboy into this weird, ambiguous villain instead of, like, the plot twist, obnoxious Elon Musk villain in Book 2. And they made her all-powerful for some reason, which is not a status she should achieve until later in the series. Now, so far, changes we have. We have, for Artemis, for changes, we have so, for book and film, we've got from evil to innocent, withdrawn to social, black hair to brown, deathly pale to tan. What else do we have? We have smart to stupid. Now, one of the subplots in the book initially was, like, corruption in the police task force that Holly works under. Holly is the first female officer in her regime, and her commanding officer, Root, is a bit of a brute. And he seems to be, you know, always out, like, on her case. And she wants to prove, like, stick it to him and whatnot. Of course, we learn later that he was only harsh on her because he wanted everyone else to take her seriously, and it was actually very sweet and touching. But at the start, you're presented with a very antagonistic and almost feminist story for her. And Disney, interestingly enough, they took away that by making Judi Dench into Root, and took away all of the conflict in her story. So Holly, all of a sudden, now as the secondary main character, has no story. She has no plot line. In the book, it's her fighting against her boss. And in the film, it's, oh, hi, boss. I'm sad. And the boss goes, get to work. She goes, okay. And then she just fuck all. She just does fuck all. Anyway, I digress. So, for a company that is so, like, hell-bent on representation in both story and whatnot, they were given it on a silver platter. They were given a story that fits all of their criteria, and they pulled it, like, for no reason, and they replaced it with something that wasn't even good. Like, this is one of the rare times they had to do zero work because an optimal version of the stories they wanted to put out into the ether actually existed in a way that wasn't shoved down people's throats. It was naturally written and well done. Anyway, we're cutting off her nose. But no, Disney was like, we can't have our audience see police stuff. We only made Zootopia. Okay, nose is gone, and we're cutting off her eyeballs because these Funko Pop eyeballs are nightmare fuel. Now, in the film, they give Artemis's story. Oh, it's in my coffee! Ugh! Funko eyeballs. Anyway, in the film, I'm gonna move my coffee over here. In the film, they create like this weird MacGuffin called the Aculos, and they make it like this glowing acorn or whatever, and that's like a big secret bioweapon that never existed in the book series. The whole conflict of the first novel was Artemis being evil and wanting ransom money. He was the villain of the film, and there was no big bad guy. There was no MacGuffin. There was no item everybody was chasing after. It was the whole point, the whole plot was Artemis woke up one day and decided to commit a crime. And it's everybody else's fault. I mean, everyone else's responsibility to try and fix that. So Artemis kidnaps Holly in the novel, drugs her, tortures her, has her confined in a prison, and everyone else has to try and give him a square ton of gold as ransom money to release her. And it's like a whole police drama with like cool futuristic weapons. In the film, he kind of kidnaps Holly, but he puts her in an open area with a big gated, like, you know those big cartoon square cages that you can easily slip through the bars? He puts her in one of those. He doesn't even torture her, and she just talks her way out. She doesn't get busted out. Like, the fairies kind of do a we're busting in to save you, but she just breaks out herself, right? She displays no intelligence. He displays no intelligence. There's no interrogation. There's no, we're sending Root in with his finger dart gun to try and convince Artemis over negotiation for the money. Like, all of that, gone. Replaced with slop. Anyway. And the novel ends with Artemis, even though he's 12, he has succeeded in extorting all of this money, all of this physical gold, because he wants to fund an expedition to the Arctic to find out what happened to his criminal overlord father. And he needs to fund it, but ever since his father disappeared after fighting the Russians, the criminal empire he built has fallen to ruin and shambles. There's been no one making money. So this 12-year-old is committing horrible crimes and now kidnapping, mutilating, and extorting innocent creatures for their money, right? At the end of the book, he now wins. The bad guy wins. The main character bad guy outsmarts all the good guys, wins, and so this 12-year-old poisons some wine and gives it to himself and his allies as a final fuck you to the fairies. And he uses that to survive a biohazard bomb because they try to fucking nuke his house. Like, of course that was removed in the film too, right? Anyway, I digress. My thought as to why all of these changes occurred is because, first off, they saw an initial problem with Artemis Fowl himself. They sat on this property for many years and they went, well, if we, as the family-friendly company, release a film where the main character is the same age as our target demographic, but he's like a bad guy and he does bad things, that'll tell parents we're encouraging their kids to do bad things. Here's the naive flaw with that logic. First off, you only get boring fucking stories if you do that. But second, when I was a kid, And I wanted a character on the screen I could relate to. I didn't look for a character that looked exactly like me, that talked exactly like me, had the same interests as me even. I looked for a character that was better than me. I always looked for a character that was more interesting than me. I wanted a character that was awesome, but I could see myself trying to become. I related so much to Artemis. He was my favorite character because I was a kid that age. And even though I couldn't be any more different from him, I was a stupid kid. I wasn't a maniacal evil genius, but I looked at him and I went, holy shit, that's awesome. I could be smart if I worked hard that day. I could do anything. I could accomplish. He was my power fantasy. And a lot of people felt the same way about Holly. Like, you go online and people, they say Holly's their favorite character for the same reason. Maybe they won't grow up to be police, but holy shit, she's got all this cool technology. She's got people's respect. She's badass. She's interesting. She's witty and she's smart. And sometimes you're not any of those things, but you look up to a character that's that way, even if you don't look or act the same as them. Disney's fatal flaw is thinking that the only way to make a child feel represented and heard is to have a one-to-one recreation of the type of child. And so by making Artemis into a stupid child who doesn't know anything about his family, who is very athletic, who is very sociable and likes going to school, that they would encourage people to become like him. But instead, what they did is they made a character that if I was a kid exactly like the Artemis they created and I saw him on screen, I'd go, that's really fucking boring. I hate this. This is a waste of my time. There is nothing there. There's no sauce. There's nothing to aspire to. Like, no. And until filmmakers realize that, then there's nothing to do. And here's the thing even, Kenneth Branagh, I'm not sure how much of this was his fault, even. I wonder if it was very much so Disney had a very strict set of guidelines and he was stuck. I'm still gonna blame him till the cows come home. But, like, the changes done were disingenuous and diabolical. And I remember initially we were going to get a theater release for Artemis Fowl, and then COVID hit and they moved it immediately to Disney Plus in January. Like, it never got a theater release, and I guess maybe it's for the best it didn't. And I used my Disney Plus trial. We all know how that goes, everybody. You agree to their free trial. Apparently Disney's allowed to legally kill you at their parks, so holy shit. But I used my free trial, and I made a watch party of it. IRL, I made my own little movie theater. I made popcorn. I set up chairs in a living room. I stole my siblings, and I'm like, no, we're sitting down, we're watching this. This is the triumph of my childhood. And 30 seconds into the movie, he arrives on a surfboard, and my little brother, no joke, says, what is this gay shit? And he stands up and he leaves. And I'm like, oh. And the whole time, the whole movie, like, my face just falls more and more. Like, I couldn't defend it. I agreed with him the whole time. Owen Colfer will not talk about the film. He was legally obligated to, like, promote it. So leading up to the film, he was, like, gassing it up. But after the film dropped, he refuses to acknowledge its existence. But yeah, the whole, like, point of my stream here is not just breaking down Artemis Fowl, but this was all set dressing, you know, to get to the main point. The main point is how not just the changes Disney did not to ruin it, but if Disney had properly handled this film and this series, I genuinely think it could have actually saved the company. Like, the company is, like, fucked right now. It's fucked right now. But genuinely, in my heart of hearts, I believe if they had handled this with, like, the care it deserved, if they'd given it the Harry Potter treatment, it could have been something that carried the company for 20 years. Kind of like how Harry Potter is like carried Warner Brothers for 20 fucking years. Here's why. Let's break it down. And after we break it down, now that we've cleaned up her face, we're going to sketch out some alternative faces, and then we're going to start painting the base coat. Okay. So, sorry. Camera, focus. Focus. Focus, camera. Focus. So, things that Artemis Fowl has that something like Harry Potter also has is it's got world building. It's got a fantasy world. It's got two kinds of people. You've got the normies and you got the fairies. And for Harry Potter, you got the normies and the wizards. And the whole story focuses on the different types of things. They also have strong aesthetics. My favorite part of the series is the part where the gangster henchman turns schizo because of childhood trauma. Book 5 was an interesting book. Strong aesthetics. Harry Potter has their wizards, their castles, their all that. They had very warm visuals, very strong. They had strong iconography. They've got the owls, they've got the quills, they've got all the wizard stuff that they've developed perfectly over the last decade. And you see any of those things in combination, you think Harry Potter. They've got a very strong visual language. Artemis Fowl is more than capable of that. And even with the shit film they produced, you can see that visual potential because the way they made Haven, which is the fairy underground, is actually brilliant. And if it was given to a proper film, they could have banked on that visually. Whereas Harry Potter is very brown and yellow and whatnot. Artemis Fowl could have been very gold, green, tech. Could have been very tech. And for the current generation who is very tech-based and is very into tech things, this would have come at the perfect time. Some motifs. The acorn, because the acorn is the major plot point of the first book. Kind of like an owl is like a major plot point of the Harry Potter books. You've got the gold coin. You've got gold ingots. You could use those. You've got multiple books over a series. Actually, it's the same amount of books Harry Potter had. I think 8, right? Harry Potter had 8 books. Artemis Fowl also has 8 books. They all get slightly longer and longer. There's an overarching plot, but every book has its own contained plot, so that would be good for either a standalone film or a short mini-series, because we all know how much fucking Disney loves their fucking mini-series, everyone. Go to Disney Plus, you can watch 4 episodes of absolute garbage at a moment's notice. Holy shit. Anyway. But cohesive, consistent plots, reoccurring characters, easily marketable items and pets and creatures and whatnot. Marketing potential fucking endless. With the toys, the tech, the anything. If they wanted to sell the kids like they do to Harry Potter, they could have done that so easy. Strong political messaging. It's a little less strong in Harry Potter in some parts, but Disney, is the political company. If they wanted to lean into that, Artemis Fowl has a lot of the things they align with, unfortunately, to a degree. And it was like a match made in heaven. They literally had the golden goose of everything they ever could have wanted out of a story, but well written. I'm just... like dwarf hair lockpicks. Look. To be fair, kids really would like Mulch if he was done in a non-creepy way. Mulch in the film, for some reason, he was very Uncanny Valley with his weird CGI unhinged jaw. But to be fair, in the books, he was always weird unhinged anyway. We are so back, YouTubers. Yeah, we are. You know what? Maybe before we start sketching Holly, I'll start the, I hate how the Funko Pop heads are like a fucking square. It's so Minecraft Roblox. Anyway, let's take a peek at the Supas, because I've been yapping non-stop. Let's grab the mouse. Alright, let's check the super chats, everyone. Oh, whoops. Wrong stream, I guess. YouTube, please. Where are you going? There we go. Holy shit! I didn't realize there were so many supas. Sorry, guys. Alright, let's start from the top. Glad to have you back on this superior chat, boss. Those Twitch goobers ain't got nothing on us. Lamau, thank you for the 20. And you right, Bob Jones. YouTube gang forever. Pisswave 2024. Thank you, Abra Cadabra, for the 20. Pisswave 2025. 2 more piss waves from Abracadabra, a 25 and a 30 each. Thank you for your generosity, and thank you for supporting the Pisswave 2024, where my only campaign promise is that if you vote for me, you will die. I will kill every single one of you. Oh wait, there's more. So many piss waves. 3 more piss waves. A 35, a 40, and a $45 from Abracadabra. Holy shit, Abra is happy to have YouTube back. Pisswave 2024, everybody. She ignores us because she hates us. Ugh. Oh, shut up, Brave SJ. I don't hate you. Alright. Oh, wait, there's more! Ah! You know, I'm just gonna just do a quick skim to see how many more Pisswave ones were sent. Oh, okay. Just 4 more, but these ones are pink. All from Abra again. Abracadabra. Thank you for the 50, 55, 60, and 65. Going up in increments of 5 every time. What is your budget? Control yourself. Thank you. Holy shit. Pisswave 2024, Abracadabra. Brave SJ, thank you for the 20. Artemis Fowl is like a fever dream for me. I can only remember snippets. Jumping out of a window with a mattress, a secret society of people eating endangered species, but not really, age regression romance, the Irish, etc. Holy shit. Jumping out of the window with a mattress was one of my favorite moments, and I think it was book 3? Or book 4? It was book 4. It was book 4 because he had lost his memory. No. Yes. Book 4. Book 4 was the Opal Deception, I think. As a kid, I drew that scene over and over again, like comic-wise. Like, I drew comics of that particular scene over and over again. It's actually time I should redraw it again. Now, losing his memory was... No, universe. He had his memory wiped in book 3 as a consequence of his actions in book 3. Him and Butler had his memory wiped. And book 4, it was about getting his memory back. Sounds like a typical Disney nonsense. Yeah. I remember trying to read Artemis Fowl as a kid, just couldn't get into it. It was because they tried to advertise it as being similar to Harry Potter. Here's the thing, Chick-U. It's similar in its structure, but it's not similar in its plot and its characters. The plot and characters of Harry Potter are a lot more family-oriented and cutesy, and less diabolical, and more fantastical. Artemis Fowl is a little grittier, and it's for the edgelords. So there's a potential, there's a target audience that's the same, but I wouldn't hazard to say that it's actually identical. I'm only saying that Artemis Fowl could have the same effect as Harry Potter. Thank you for the vibe. I'm late, but we are so back, YouTube bros. Yes, Wash! Thank you for the 20. Funko Pops are such a trash, they're not even fit to be filler in landfill. Xander, you are so right, buddy. Thank you for the 5. Pisswave 2024, Bob Jones, leave me alone. Thank you for the 5. Helta, thank you for the 2. Toph says Trudeau wave. Alright. We are caught up on Supas, everybody. It's the Eternity Code? Yeah, okay. Can't see your face half the time? Hold on. It could be because I have... Okay, 1 second. I have full body tracking on. Okay, how's this look now? There we go. Okay. Let's get sketching. So, actually, wait, are the eyebrows raised? No, they're not. They're painted on. Though I could cut off a little bit more of the eyeball. Want it nice and flat, like my femboys. Okay, we are almost there. Real talk, in the battle of tomboys versus femboys, the only winner is me, because having both at the same time is absolutely kino. $11 p.m. I don't know if I should go to sleep or catch a broadcast live. You should do both. Go to bed, but like have me open on the computer across the room. Bet. Okay. It's a little bit better. I just want a good base for painting, and these ridges are too raised. There we go. But yeah, I remember I was coping so hard on Tumblr when the film dropped. I remember before the film dropped, we saw the casting early, and it was like, oh god, why is everybody casted weird? Why is everybody a different race? All the previews we're seeing look off, but you know what? I'm gonna hold out hope because maybe it won't be like the books, but it'll at least be good. And people were so cruel to me on Tumblr, calling me a bootlicker, and then the movie dropped and it was bad. So I had to revert all of my previous statements. Sleep well, Joel Nelson. Do you ship Artemis and Holly? No. I'm not a Artemis shipper. I never really had ships for Artemis, honestly. A lot of people really like to ship him with Alex Rider from a different book series, but I could never get into that. I just liked him as a standalone character in of itself. Again, I just really like. I looked at him and I went, oh yeah, that's me. That's me. And I don't like self-shipping, so I related a little too much to him, and that killed any potential for me finding romance for him. Tumblr, really? Shut up! Shut up! Okay, so looks like we've got like 2 hair strands here. One there. Dip here. Carved in. Okay, so we got that to work with. Roblox looking ass. Okay. Little curved off at the edges. Now, I don't want some weird, uncanny, dress to impress looking face. It'll still be simple. It just can't be whatever the hell this is. I like that the eyebrows are angular. Let's split this face in half so that we've got 2 angular, and I like that. Okay, so they're a little bit shorter than that, and that makes it a problem for us because then it goes from potentially chibi looking to weird and grotesque. So we're going to have to be very strategic with our Holly redesign. Make a smiling face. Make a smiley face. Oh, you mean like this? Is that our new Holly short, everyone? They swapped eyes in one of them? Yeah, in book 5, Holly and Artemis swapped eyeballs. Okay, yeah, no, it looks like there's too much drift in Warudo, and my body tracking keeps dragging me off screen. There we go. But I appreciate pronouncing Colfer's correctly. So many people mispronounce it as Owen, which is a different variation. Ewan Colfer. Midas, would you rather have fried water or chicken taste watermelon? I would rather not answer that question because both of those sound repugnant, but also slightly racially coded. Make him Magus. Alright. Let's see. So, Holly. If I was to make the eyes, I'd want them to be roughly... maybe in this general area. So a little bit closer to the center of the face. We want one eyeball apart, not two eyeballs apart. And if we want a mouth, it would be around where the nose was, but a little bit lower. Soy Jack Holly. Hey Midas, what's your favorite fruit? Astolfo. Okay. But yeah, no, avocados. Avocados are my favorite fruit because you can have them savory. They're very nice. I like them with salt. Okay, I think I'm gonna lean more into anime-esque kind of styling because that's just what I do. That looks a little too gloomy and uncanny. I think we have to lean into something a little less angled down. Maybe a little more angled up. Little line. And that. And I think because she's kind of got this weird round square jaw, we're actually going to use a darker brown to round off the outside edges to give the illusion of depth so that it's going back. Or Giga Brain Play. If I refer back to the novel for a second, if we go back to the helmet diagram, you see at the sides, they've got the detachable oxygen pollution mask, and they've got the control buttons, the speakers, the lamp, right here on the sides. So we could use this, and we could artificially paint that on the sides, so we could like use that square shape to our advantage, and have that actually be a painted on version of the helmet. Okay. Put you back down. Come back to you later. So, what I can do, this is a bit wide. A little bit too widest for Midas. Okay. So, let's move the eyeball in a little bit closer. Make the head a little bit smaller. Then, gonna get the helmet. So we've got the hair, the helmet. And then we're going to fake some shading right here. So this will be dark shading to fake it being round. I'm also gonna add little curls to the end of the hair. Now, I can't change the helmet in its entirety, but I can add to it to make it, you know, just a little bit closer. So we can paint that. Here we go. Forever brought Artemis Fowl books to my elementary school. Here's the thing about that Python Riddler. When I first got Artemis Fowl, I actually stole it from my older sister because it was buried in her book collection with all her vampire romance novels. And it was the only book in her collection full of black covered books that was shiny gold. And I, as a small kid, thought, wow, that's so cool looking. I'm going to look at it. So I stole it because it looked like gold. And then I read the book and it was like about a kid my age who stole a bunch of gold. And I'm like, holy shit, this was meant for me. This was meant for me! I had a hard time managing his dialogue with an Irish accent. Fair enough. Have I ever made an Artemis Fowl OC? No. No. I'm somebody that doesn't make a ton of character OCs. I like if part of, like, pre-existing stuff. I make lots of OCs for my own original stuff. But I don't like, pre-existing property OCs. It's not my jam. Now, the interesting part will be, will I cut off her ears? Because the ears don't stick out of the helmet. I will not cut off her ears. I'll just redesign the helmet on the side. So we're looking here at this interesting egg kind of shape. The visor goes down. And we're redesigning it so that the visor now goes down there. Look, it connects like this. So we can connect it like this. And it also goes over the ear. Like this on the actual model. So we could go like that. Yeah, that's not too far out of the realm of believability. We can make that work. It'll be like a blend between the book and the film helmet. And honestly, the uniform in the film and the helmets, even though they were different, and I had nostalgia for the old ones in the novels, they were the things I had the least problem with. I actually thought they were all right. Midas, let me out of the basement. You stay in there. You stay in there. Okay. Now let's look here. So we've got the control buttons. So we're going to want to have the control buttons as well, I think. Control buttons are up along the edge. There's also a pressure seal. Too bad I can't put the live feed camera in there. Can I paint it on? I could probably paint it on. Right in the middle here. Little live feed camera. I worship the neutrino gun like a religious artifact. I love the neutrino gun. Did you ever lose interest in the later entries in the series? No, they had their they had things that won me back and forth. There was books that I did like the least. Like, I really loved book 6, and I actually surprisingly really liked book 7. But the final book of the series, the ending I loved. But the rest of book 8 was very confusing, and I actually really didn't like it, and it felt strange. Book 5 was one of the least interesting books to me, but all the other ones, like, various scales of I like it or not. Okay. I think... Okay. Make the eyelashes a little bit bigger. She's got very pointed eyes, so we're gonna reflect that in our painting just a little bit. Gonna make her grumpy because, you know, she's very fiery and spiteful because she's had terrible things happen to her because of a shitty 12-year-old. Though through the series, he does get older, and at the end of the series, it's actually really hard to know how old he is because of time travel throughout the series. So he's physically different than his actual age, and we have no idea how old he is. I first read The Time Paradox because it was the one in the school library. That's kind of the issue with the Artemis Fowl books, is that while they're all independent stories, it's hard to read them out of order because you lose so much context. And The Time Paradox was one of the ones you really need context for. Okay. Now, if we look at her suit, it's interesting. So I'm thinking I really can't do much for the wings to make them like the dragonflies. I mean, I could snip off the bottom of the wings, but I really think that it helps balance the design. So we're going to keep it for now. We are going to have to do some repainting on the suit, because if you look carefully here, you see that some of the silver bleeds out onto the green, and it doesn't look very good. I think that the suits are actually pretty okay, and they're actually pretty book accurate. Though in the films, they're actually iridescent, and that's really kind of fun. I like that. And my camera is at the wrong angle. Hold on. It's not capturing my face. There we go. Hold on, let me just... There we go. Have you had one piece of media that made you change the way that you see the world? Opal Cowboy is a loser and I wish her the worst. Opal Cowboy is Kino. What a weird, goofy cartoon villain of the week, and I love her. She's so stupid. But in the films, they took away all of the stuff that made her charming. So, I hate her in the film. Opal Cowboy in the novels, the whole point is that in the first book, she was like Elon Musk if Elon Musk was a sexy seductress that was really wise and had everybody, you know, convinced that she was a mogul and a genius. Book 2, sorry. He's physically older but mentally younger. I don't know if that helps the case, but I don't think. Opal sucks. We all hate Opal in this household. I'm unsure how old Artemis is at the end of the series. I know that he's like at least 18 at the youngest, but people have theorized that he's as old as 25. Anyway, interesting thing about these Funko Pops is that if you took off the heads, their bodies are proportionate to a whole human. They're not like chippy proportions where they're like do like readjusted to be cute. This is like a human portion. If I hit the whole head, if you just saw this, you'd think that there's like a normal sized head under there because that's how the body is set up to look. Anyway, that's always struck me as a little weird, and that helps with the uncanny. Anyway, so let's see how you guys think about my proposed repaint. Proposed repaint with the reskin, the proper eye color, and the proper hair color. We're going to start off with the base, and the base is going to be white so that the darker colors take really nicely. Where did I put the paint? Okay. What I think I hate most is that Artemis Fowl throughout the series genuinely does become a better person. The whole point of the series is that he's going through a character arc from being a bad person who does bad things for selfish reasons to a good person who does things for selfless reasons. And that's a long, slow process. And Disney decided that that wasn't a valuable thing they wanted to show. They didn't want to show people learning to become better. And that... I don't know. Alright. So let's grab white acrylic. I also got some model magic in case I really fuck something up and I need to remake a prop or something. No character arcs, not allowed. So we're going to start with the white paint. Can I pop the head off without breaking this? Maybe? Yes. Okay. Look at that. Yeah, now this is even more uncanny because it looks like it should have a tiny head to go with it. Is there something in there? Huh. Interesting. So, now that I've got the head, I can paint it properly. Decapitation, yes, cream corn. Decapitation. I'm gonna do a white a white base. Right there. I'm gonna coat it. I'm gonna shake it till it's dry. And then we're gonna start. Oh, I don't have green though for the helmet. I'll think of something. Okay. So everywhere that we want to change the skin color, we're going to have a flat matte base. And this is both to cover the texture of the cut off eyeballs and nose, and also cover the darkness of the eyebrows, so that when we do paint the skin tone over top of it, we don't see things underneath. We'll also color the hair as well, so it takes the orange better. Hello, Crab Spriteberry. I've missed my YouTube audience so much. Yeah, I don't know what happened, but yeah, no, resetting everything on my restream made things work better. So I'm glad. But initially, I was holding my breath because the stream was doing the same thing it's been doing the last couple of weeks at the start, where it wasn't sending the information, and I was so ready to just throw in the towel. I felt washed, you know? But then it connected, and I was so excited. It was like, yay! I finally get to go home, and by home I mean YouTube. So, fun fact, the last broadcast I uploaded to YouTube, it was a repost of my previous broadcast that I did on Twitch, or maybe it was like 2 or 3 broadcasts ago. I said the hard F word in reference to myself. I called myself the hard F word. And YouTube didn't like that. Its bot scan caught that, even though it was 2 hours into the stream. It was like one of my rare 4-hour streams, right? And it nuked the entire video, like re-upload video. And oh my god, if I didn't have your guys' support, I wouldn't be able to do this, because that it went from potentially making like some money to making no money except for the supas. Or, well, I guess in that case there was no supas in that one because it was a Twitch re-upload. But yeah. It's really easy to see how people like fall into like, well, I can just do simple censorship. I can say in Minecraft, or I can say a replacement for the funny word. It's just like when everybody says replacement for the funny word, then there's nobody's left, right? People want to be able to talk like normal human beings and not like weird social media creatures that have to use replacement words every 5 seconds. And I want to be able to provide a space where people can feel like they're watching something normal and not geared towards mentally deranged children that need everything to be super duper censored. Otherwise, they throw tantrums and reporting hissy fits. Broadcast is pre-recorded and can be rerun. On YouTube, when you broadcast, you can... Well, basically, it just saves the VOD, right? And when I do it on Twitch only, because YouTube isn't working, I take the recording I get on Twitch's backend, I download it, and I repost it raw onto YouTube so that those who missed it can at least watch the aftermath. And I know people don't like watching the aftermath all that much. People like being there in the moment. It sucks missing a broadcast for any streamer. Asmongold levels. Oh my god, don't even get me started. I don't have any beef with Asmongold personally. Literally, that video I put up was like a snippet from my stream broadcast. snippet from my broadcast where I was talking about hygiene, where I was talking about guys looks maxing, where I was just talking about, you know, health and yuck in general, right? And Asmongold is one of those creators who is very openly taken, like, some degree of pride in living in filth and squalor. And I had a problem with that. And I jokingly said I would crush him like a roach or something, right? And people took that as legitimate threat of violence. And I had people sending me death threats. And then I had one guy, like, donate to me on Ko-Fi. And I talked with him afterwards. And it seemed like it was a misguided warning. But initially, it read as a doxing threat. Because I said I didn't like that Asmongold was stinky. Like, the internet is a strange place sometimes. Oh, and then immediately after, I saw Camilla on Twitch and on Twitter talk about how a stalker came in the middle of one of her streams and was banging on her window, and she ended up having to get the police, and they found an air tag in some gift that was given to her when she went to a convention last, and holy fuck, that made me so paranoid. Like, all day, all I could think of was, oh my god, if I'm ever guesting at a convention, I can't accept gifts. There's no fucking way. I don't want, like, somebody to sneak an air tag, hunt me down for sport, and then kill me in my sleep. I'd have to have, like, strict rules, and then I'd have to carry, like, a metal detector with me. Giving me a gift IRL is the same as, like, going through the TSA at the airport. Is it called the TSA? Going through the airport security. You have to go through airport security if you wish to be kind to me. Because holy fuck, that scares me. Midas burning the gifts behind the con building, that's crazy. No, but I'd have my metal stick, and I'd be poking every single one of them, waiting for it to beep so I can beat it. Yeah. And as well, I'm divisive enough that I genuinely think, like, not to, like, say that I'm the most cool and edgy thing since sliced bread, but I genuinely feel like there's probably people that hate me enough that they might try to poison me. So I would definitely, like, now that I'm seeing this happening in real time, like people sneaking trackers and, like, molesting gifts, I think I probably wouldn't accept food either. I don't care how nice the family recipe is. I am not having, at the safest, a laxative in my food. At the worst, rat poison. Okay, coffee. Let's stretch while we watch paint dry, everybody. Ah! Yeah, that's fair. You don't want extra mayo in your food. Holy crap. That one party where everyone got roofied too. Holy shit. I was supposed to go to that event. I genuinely was supposed to go to TwitchCon, and I was supposed to go to that particular event. But instead, I had to go to a Jesus thing. I had to go to a Jesus convention, quite literally. I was sitting at JesusCon watching the aftermath of everything at the end of the night. Everybody was drinking alcohol, and a bunch of people had a chair on the floor. They put the priest on top of the chair, and they lifted him up into the air, holding one leg at a time, and they were running around the room with the priest, and they were, like, bouncing him up and down and chanting in Ukrainian. Shit was wild. Anyway, so I was watching that go down, and I was looking at my phone, and I'm seeing in real time some of my buddies and friends in the VTubing scene talking about, holy shit, I just got drugged. Holy shit, one of my friends just got drugged, and I'm like, ah! So, like, I'm sitting there watching the levitating priest, seeing one of my buddies potentially in danger on the other side of the line. It's just like, what is my life? What is my life? And Jesus saved you from being roofied. Okay, here's the thing. You only roofie attractive people. I probably wouldn't have been roofied, but I absolutely would have had to rescue the people who did. Oh, my gamer subs fell over. Oh, God. Oh, no, that was the only good part of the Jesus thing, was at the very end, after everything was said and done. Before then, it was 3 church services a day for 4 days, and one of them was a midnight mass. And then the rest of the day, it was different workshops where you were put into rooms with a bunch of people, and it was just like, okay, everybody, so why do we do funerals this way? It was really the most boring shit I've ever done in my entire life, and I hated every moment of it. So everybody getting drunk afterwards was, I guess, their way of apologizing for wasting everyone's time. Man, Orthodox are just vampires, man. Yeah. Levitating priest sounds like witchcraft. Lamau. Honest to God, it was probably the only interesting thing that happened that week, and it was actually pretty funny. At least, the only thing that interesting that happened to me. Okay. Coat is almost dry. I'm just touching it up in some spots, and then we can start with our skin tone, everybody! Yippee yahoo! Actually, what I might do is I might sketch the face on this white layer so it peeks through very lightly under the brown skin tone. That'll just help me. I haven't painted like this in a while. Like, I know that we did a painting together on broadcast, but it's different from, like, painting an item, yeah? Okay, we definitely have to wait till this is bone dry, though, because the paint's cracking a little bit because I put it on a little too heavy-handed. And I want it to be smooth. I don't want it to be cracking. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put Holly upside down. And I'm going to take a look at her body for a second. Ever read any Brandon Sanderson books? If you ever got a figure, what would you want the pause to be? The pause? You mean the position? Like the pose? I'd probably want it to be either sitting in a chair with my fingers laced like evil villain style, like I've been waiting for you, Mr. Bond, or I'd want to be mid-action jump with a gun. One of the two. Thought that was her body. Thought it was a green arm. Yeah, this is the Funko Pop body. Don't expose her hole like that. How indecent. Oh, Lord, how indecent. So I got these paint pens. One of them silver, one of them gold. I don't know if I want to make the detailing gold or if I want to make it silver. Making Holly nice. Hey, gummy jelly. Hold on. My camera keeps moving. And my camera's gone. Okay. Hold on, my face tracking's gone, everybody. This is a suboptimal setup, if I do say so myself. That is on me. Okay. Everything falls, everything dies. Okay. Allow. Will we be allowed to see me? There we go. Poker face Midas. Lamau. What I'm going to do, I'm going to turn off the body tracking. The body tracking has not helped with immersion this stream. It has just caused problems. Move the stool. Turning off the body tracking. We're just doing face tracking. Okay. Wow. Okay. Good to know. Now let's move this up, and I'm absolutely killing time while we wait for the paint to dry. Glad you noticed. There we go. Let me just move my stool back so I can sit. Then I'll have a sip of coffee and chit-chat with you guys. And I keep floating away. Oi! This shit's hard. Oh, and my camera's blurry now, too. We live and die by the scuff, everybody. Alright. How are we looking? There we go. That's more like it. Is there a way to get your origin to stay in place? Probably, but... just gotta make it work. Okay. Put the mouse back. In Brazil, there's a priest that lays down a hammock swinging wildly back and forth while auctioning a lasagna. Interesting. Always amazed at how good your model is. Well, I thank you, Pyro somebody. Oh, wow. You know what? Actually, what might be the move? If I unplug it, though that means that the battery will start to drain. And I put it here. And I reset. And I... hold on, I think I've got this in the bag, everybody. There we go! That's perfect. That's exactly what we needed. And I don't think it'll shift. The Brazilian audience glows. Okay. Awesome. Now I just gotta hope that the hand cam doesn't twist down, because then you'll see my face. Okay. Now, the nice thing about the original Artemis Fowl books, sorry, I'm just moving to get the book again, is that in the novels, it is paced beat for beat, kind of like an action film. So you wouldn't have to actually do that much adjustment to the baseline story to get a script for a movie. Like, legitimately, it is pre-built in there, set up to be like a film. Which makes their decisions even more baffling, because they turn the pacing into some sort of garbage, fast schlock. Face reveal in the Artemis Fowl rant would go crazy, though. Nah, miss me with that shit, everybody. Miss me with that shit. Okay. Is this dry yet? It's a little bit tacky. I'm gonna put this in front of the air conditioner, actually. Maybe that'll dry it a little bit faster. I'm gonna put it on top of my Gamer Sups cup, because I've got 2 of them, because Gamer Sups is so generous to me. And I'll keep an eye on her to make sure she doesn't fall over. Okay, and while that's happening, let's pre-mix some browns. So I got a dark brown and a more red brown. I'm thinking this and the black would be good for, like, shading. And this would be good for baseline. And for any highlights, we'll just mix with a little bit of the tan. Clip the face reveal. Y'all really just want to jinx me. Holy shit. I can only imagine 4chan would have a field day if they saw my face. Here's the thing. I am a 2 on a good day. I look like fucking Tofia Chu, okay? We ain't doing this shit. For my sanity, we are not doing this shit. Cap? Oh, shut the fuck up, Para. Okay, now let's get the orange. I think this is too bright, so we might want to mix it. Yeah, this is a bit fluorescent, and Holly's hair is auburn. So probably closer to red, but also... little bit of black in there. Don't sell yourself short, you're at least a 2.5. That's so generous. Okay. I used to have my face on the internet, but there really was no point. That was back as a kid, so all records of that are expunged, thankfully. But honestly, I know that eventually people will probably find a way to see my face, so I'm really at peace with if, like, accidental seeing. Hell, one of the duders saw me at AX and knew it was me, so there is one of you out there watching right now currently that does know what I look like. Actually, a few of you know what I look like because you knew me before I was Midas. But, I don't know. I'm gonna try to keep immersed in Midas as much as possible. You know my nose. My nose! The most important part of my face, my schnoz, has been revealed. I don't know, as soon as my face gets out there, y'all are gonna start wanting feet. Like, it escalates that way, you know, and I can't possibly do that to myself. What, you painting? Oh, we are repainting a figure, a Holly short figure. You feet, thank you. Thank you for being sane, guys. Thank you. Schnoz, we already have feet, you goober. You don't have bare feet, you have socks. Socks and feet are two different creatures. Okay, but do things turn into gold when you touch them? No. Why are we talking about feet again? I don't even know. Alright, so the one thing I do like about the original figure is the glasses. The goggles even. But they're one of the few things that, like, would be close to being book accurate. I'm gonna see if I can find a way to reattach them, but not have them clipped to the eyes. Okay. Let's get the dark brown cooking. Paint dry yet? Oh, it's probably close. Okay. I see in the chat some people are asking for socks. Unironically, I would be interested in making socks. I actually really want to make shoes or boots. That's one thing that I really want to do is military boots. Okay, I'm just going to scrape a bit of this. I'm going to put this over here. But it's really hard to produce military style boots. The most that I see I can do is I can do runners or sneakers, and I guess that's all right. I don't know. I'll probably do a set of runners in the near future for an event I'm planning. Runners, socks, and a hoodie. Like, I'm going to do like a streetwear kind of thing. But I really want to do military boots. Okay. She's probably dry now. Let's go check. She could be drier, but I think she's good to go. Midas Iris cameras. Thoughts on Doc Martens? They're alright. I really want to do like a leather jacket or something, or no, a denim jacket. I want to do a denim jacket because then I can do patches and then people can put patches on their denim jacket. If you can answer anything that happened with the wiggle pins from that one Twitter post, this duder is still interested. I was contacted actually by the artist with the wiggle pins, and They said that I am on the list to produce. I gave them all the information and the references they need, and they will contact me again when it is time to open pre-orders. So it'll be in the future, not this month, but you can expect it sometime early next year that we can do those wiggle pins. Short boots are ruining this country. What are they called? The Demonias? Demontonias? The ones the emos like with the buckles? Those fuck. I like those. Alright. But no, I've got more exciting things coming up in the near future than simple wiggle pins. There are some things that you guys can't even conceive of on the horizon. You guys aren't ready for my villain arc, and my villain arc is starting very soon. This November, even. Is Midas a full-time thing? Now, it has been for a little bit. What is a wiggle pin? Oh, that's referencing something on Twitter. On Twitter, there's an artist who does like a bunch of fun pins for like Niji Sanji VTubers and Hololive VTubers and Doki Bird, and I joined their interest check, and they reached out to me, and they're going to make a special enamel pin based on Midas because of it. So November we get red Midas. Should I show you? No, you're not getting red Midas, but you might be getting white Midas. You might be getting white Midas. Alright, let's start sketching. Okay. It's gonna be hard to do one-to-one, especially since I'm holding this up. Thought Midas was already white. Oh, like, I can get whiter, everybody. Trust me. We can always go whiter. Hold on. Let me retract that statement because that sounded weird. When the next round of paint is drying, I will actually go into my files and I will grab a sneak peek for you guys. For what you can expect near the end of November. Don't do Grand Wizard. No, we're not gonna do a Grand Wizard. Holy fuck. Get out of here. Get out of here. I'm trying to make friends, not enemies. Thank you. Midas craves more power. Lamau. Hold on. I've just gotta super focus 1 second. This is Holly Short, and she's giving you the stink eye. Okay, and then for the helmet, I'm gonna reach down. And we're gonna that. There we go. Gonna go up. Gonna go up. then from there, let's map out where we want to make the area darker. Darker under there. It's just like texturing a Vroid, everybody. I'm going to make it darker under there. Actually, let's dip that down a little bit more. Okay. Sweet. All right, everybody. So this is how our holly is looking. So let's start with brown, the light brown. We'll do brown on the hair too, because when the orange goes on top of it, it'll still be orange, it'll just be muted. There we go, and because we had a nice white base layer, now we don't have that Funko Pop texture underneath, but also we have our sketch, so we win. We are getting so close, bros, and when I'm going to get the sneak preview for Whitus, I will catch up on comments and supas. Might have to do multiple layers of the brown skin. We will see. This is actually a nice tone. I didn't think that the red would look this, like the red brown would look this nice, but this is actually really nice. I think the issue will be just trying to make it look a little less streaky, because this is looking kind of streaky. Okay. Yeah, no. The last few days have been very hectic in all of my circles, my family circles, my friend circles, and I didn't even know if I was going to broadcast today, if I'm going to be honest. My nieces are in town and they need to be watched over. But we're here. We're all doing our best, and we're all having a good, well, most of us are having a good time, at least on broadcast. Off broadcast, some people are very miserable right now. But I know that today's the day that I get to do my Artemis Fowl stream, and that makes me incredibly happy. Of wide ass, was it? Whitus, not wide ass. Crazy. Let's see, I just want to make this look a little less streaky. Also, Holly's eyes are brown, so we gotta paint that in. I was going to do a broadcast based on the new game. What's it called? The Death Note game. But it kind of fell through. Hoping that I can get one rolling in the future, though, because it looks like it's Among Us, and I'm not a huge gamer, but I love Death Note, and I think Among Us is palatable, so I feel like at least for a round or two, it could be an acceptable thing to play on broadcast. Though, if I do play it, I don't know if it would be on YouTube or exclusively Twitch, because it is a game, and I'm not known as a gamer. So I don't know if that would actually be something you guys would be interested in. There we go. We got our first base layer. Now let's add the darker brown for the shadow. Underneath. Alright. We getting there, chat. We getting there. But yeah. Gaming is such a strange thing to me. I made a whining post about it on Twitter, but I was never really able to get into Minecraft, and as a VTuber, historically that has closed a lot of doors because of offline and online, like, you might not realize it, but off stream, people use Minecraft as a way to mix. Kind of like how when work is done for the day in some cultures, you go out with your coworkers and you get a drink at the bar. A lot of VTubers will do that, but with Minecraft. The stream ends, and then a lot of people will jump onto a friend group Minecraft server together, and they will hang out for hours. And hating Minecraft really cuts me out of a lot of interaction with these people. Like, it's not my politics, it's not my personal opinions on things, it's the fact I won't play fucking Minecraft. Right? Right? Do Newtment? Like, it does feel like a chore. Or Roblox now. Yeah, a lot of people are playing Roblox now, too. Roblox, I feel like I can get behind a little bit more. Like, I've opened it, and I've been able to play it without wanting to kill myself. But Minecraft is just... it's dull. I find it very painfully dull. Whereas, I don't know, Roblox, at least there's, like, variety. There's, like, different things you can do. And Minecraft, you can't do shit unless you add a ton of mods, and at that point, you're not even playing Minecraft anymore. You're playing a block game that's run in a Minecraft server. I don't know, it's just, it's too much work for something that isn't that fun. Okay, we're definitely gonna need more layers of brown because these are very sheer. Like, if you see that, it's very streaky. Like, I'm just piling this paint on, and it just is very uneven. So I'm gonna try and scrape off all the excess that I can. And then we're gonna put her back in front of the fan, and I shall go grab the preview of Whitus. But yeah, I hope you can see the vision, right? Like, the vision is the brown skin, and then that underneath, it gives the illusion of a round head because I've used a darker brown. It's the shading. I'm just gonna touch up the white here for a second. Oh, fuck, I forgot the ears. Hold on. 30 seconds to do the ears. Artemis Fowl was one of the first experiences I had in fandom, if that makes sense, in online fandom. And drawing fan art and making, you know, and participating in communities. It's very near and dear to my heart. Like, I was very into Star Wars, but I never participated in any Star Wars fandom. I just collected everything obsessively. Like the little dipshit twerp I was. But Artemis Fowl, it was like I was engaging with the artists in the community. I was drawing things myself. I was on all the fan forums. I was on the websites. I was on DeviantArt. I was talking to the most talented people. And there was like I don't know, it was like a whole new world opened before my eyes. Like, I could see what the peak of people's creative juices could produce. I could see people's passion and love for something so similar and silly. Didn't have to be all that deep. And it was just nice. It wasn't aggressive, there wasn't, like, weird ship wars. People were just allowed to like the thing they liked. Alright, time for me to put this work in progress in front of the dryer. The dryer? The air dryer? The air conditioner. There we go. The Holly Drying 3000. There. Right, Holly, you can dry while I go and I grab Whitus. Alright, I'm gonna be not visible for a second because I'm moving to the computer and I'm grabbing screenshots. I actually sent my mods a little peek of Whitus in the Discord. Well, first off, the fuck is going on in my Discord, by the way? Guys, can you behave for like 5 minutes? Holy shit. Speaking of, yesterday, again, was an absolute shit show. Okay, open that in browser. I think that's a good enough, preview as you guys get. Okay, so save. Yes, I know that the file gulp-shitto33 already exists. Windows, I'm trying to save over top of it. So I have an interesting thing I do when it comes to saving files, is that I will have what I call my legacy files, where I have items that I save once, and then to save space, when I'm no longer using an item, I don't delete it. I wait, and then when I want to save a new image, I look for it and I save my new image on top of that old item. And so I have files like gulp-shitto33 that have been on my computer since the computer's inception, but they have gone through like 6 or 7 different phases of existence. It's honestly my favorite. Okay. I'm just trying to decide which version of Whitus I should show. There we go. Little bit of Whitus. Now, the thing about Whitus is that it's going to be for something I'm doing in September, but I actually had to remake the Midas model in Vroid because my modeler is a bit busy. So Whitus will be a Vroid. Whitus is unfortunately a Vroid, but I'm very proud of her. You guys are not ready for Whitus. Monocle. Magical girl? Nah. Nah, holy shit, I'm suddenly so thirsty. Sorry, November, not September. I'm sorry, I'm stupid. November. But yeah. I'm actually surprised at how good I can sometimes twist my Vroids. I do have one more teaser image I think I can show you. Now, the outfit is potentially temporary because this is one that I purchased off booth, and so I need to get permissions to use it still for what I want to use it for. So currently it is a stand-in outfit. But if I can get the permissions, then this will be the outfit. Yes, it's an Woogie outfit. But yes. Whitus is real. Evil Whitus. The most... Okay, so everybody's saying that this looks like Disney Princess or a wholesome Midas. Y'all are not fucking ready. So, the reason that White Midas is designed the way that White Midas is designed is because in the early 2000s, when people really liked making versions of Hitalia characters called nega versions, like nega is negative, they would take the color and they would do a hard swap reverse of it. So for me, it's black to white and yellow to blue, because when you invert to a degree, this is the kind of color palette that shows up. So this is my negative version, and so it would be my evil version. So Midas Blanco, yes, Midas Blanco is not good. Midas Blanco is the worst version of me. Going fucking crazy. Good, go crazy. Don't mispronounce it. I'm not! It's one of those words that's it's very hard to bring up the concept of it because you just get a billion jokers saying, oh, it's one letter off. One letter off. Alright. Why does the evil version look more refined than you? Because being refined is evil. Midas Blanco is an aristocrat. Midas Blanco is evil. That's all I can really say. We ask ourselves, who's Midas IRL, when we should be asking, how is Midas doing? Thank you for the 50 MXN. Carlos Cotto 517. Midas, what's the opposite of caustic? Basic, I think. Because if you think about it, caustic is acidity, right? Government employee with damn bureaucracy. Will not stop me from jerking my shit. That's crazy. Let's see if Holly's dry. Yeah, I think Holly's actually ready for the next coat. Acrylic dries faster on top of acrylic. So is normal Midas supposed to be good? I mean, that's up for you to decide. Opposite of acidic is based. Lamau. White Midas is basic enough to kill you. Insane. Okay, so let's go with that dark brown again. We'll go in with that first. That's it, Uncaustics your chem lab. Okay. Just get that dark shadows in, you know. Oh yeah, no, this second layer is nice and smooth. It's all about piling on those layers, boys. Let's do like a little bit of like the dark brown in the upper corners as well. Since we're doing it as a faux shadow. Alright, then we got our light brown. So let me just pat that down a bit. Wait, Para, I missed. What did you say? What kind of heinous shit did you say that I missed? Oh, now I missed out. Okay, Midas Fortnite. You know what? The other day somebody told me that there was a character named Midas in Fortnite and I didn't believe them, and then they showed me and I got very upset. because I understand why I get so many confused kids in my comment section every so often now. Pinned it, lol. Okay, I'm gonna have to wait to check the Discord because I'm painting. Okay, let's get this layer on. Slayer on. You know what? I think one of my favorite plot points in Artemis Fowl is when they time travel to rescue a monkey so that they can use its blood to save somebody from like an incurable rare disease. And to do that, he has to fight himself as a child, because as a child, he sold that very monkey to a bunch of people that like to eat exotic animals, and this was the last animal of its kind. So regular Artemis has to fight 10-year-old Artemis, who is committing like a massive crime. That was always a fascinating plot point. Okay, let's touch this up. Okay, now the ear paint isn't totally dry, and I pulled away some of the paint, so we gotta let the ears dry. Just a little bit more. Okay, I think this ear, actually, I can do it now. But the other ear, I fucked up, so we gotta come back to it. Okay. So we're getting there. We're getting there, chat. Remember that's where the age regression happened? Yeah, Holly had like age regression, and Artemis like went like forward in time, so he was older, and Holly went back in time, so she was like 50 instead of a couple of hundred. Okay, coffee, coffee, coffee. Coffee, 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 coffee. Let's check Supas. You just sold me an ornament. I feel like fighting your passive must be really weird. Like, you don't want to hold back because you don't want to fuck up the timeline, but you have to actually win. Restored a core memory about Artemis Fowl to me that I'd forgotten. Lamau. Why do VTubers always have more view than normal streamers? You have the same amount of viewer as a 400k sub streamer. Hoa-ha? I don't know. I'm just doing my shit, and if people want to watch, I'm happy to have them. Age regression's always been sus to me. Now, age regression in Artemis Fowl is their bodies physically change to be different. Age regression in real life is people in their 70s pretending that they're 5. I don't want to talk about real life age regression because that shit's not kosher, not kino. Alright. Get uncaught up, dork. Thank you, Brave SJ, for the 5. Bob Jones, thank you for the 5. This is why us duders give you simple and easy gifts, like weaponry. Weaponry. Okay. Thank you for the 5. Cowsactual. Gunpla when? I've never actually touched Gunpla before, so I wouldn't even know where to start, if I'm gonna be entirely honest. Okay. Oops. Prep Cook Demon, thank you for the 5. First off, it's Wednesday, my dude. If you can answer, anything happened with the wiggle pins? Okay, we already did that. Yes, wiggle pins. Vinyl, thank you for the 2. Midas Blanco es real. Yes. Yes. She is perfect. Thank you for the 5, Xander Kane. I'm glad that you like Midas Blanco. White Midas. Whitus. Is she perfect? I don't think so. Carlos, thank you for the 50 MX. Okay, and this one I answered earlier, but let's read it again. We ask ourselves, who's Midas IRL too much? We don't ask, how's Midas doing enough? Midas is happy to have you. And that's all that matters right now. And by happy to have you, I mean I hate all of you. You guys all suck. Okay. That's what I mean. Chronologically adults, but physically teen kids like Timmy Turner and Marco. Yeah, they're weird. Okay, now I was told I need to check the Discord for some reason, so I gotta move to the other side to actually peek at it real quick because I feel like something's going down that I'm not privy to. Okay, okay, 1 second, everybody. I need to hit a bottle. Love you guys. Okay, I'm gonna be just 1 second. You guys listen to a round of Spy Swing, okay? Okay, we are back. Sorry for the short break, everybody. I just needed to check to make sure things were okay. Good night. No, we're not leaving. Sorry, guys. No, this wasn't goodbye. I'm not shutting down for the night. I just needed a 4-minute break because I was told something was happening that I needed to moderate. For some reason, I had a bunch of people in both my chats saying I needed to check Discord because something was happening and that it was bad or something. I went to check, and y'all were just fucking with me. It's already over. It's not over! I hate all of you. Alright. There was a screenshot. What screenshot? Okay, well, I'll check the DMs then. Is that what this was about? Okay, don't tell me that that's cute, but really, genuinely, really unimportant. Don't waste my time with that shit. I thought something was wrong. I'm actually kind of frustrated with that. Whatever, people needed a bathroom break. People needed to drink. People needed to whatever. But yeah, no, don't tell me to check Discord unless it's something important. Come on. Anyway, paint should be dry. I'm gonna check. Y'all made it sound so serious. Holy shit. Okay. We did? Oh. Universe bit. I have combined chats on my side, so I'm seeing messages from both YouTube and Twitch at the same time. So, I don't know if you did, but somebody was. Anyway. Well, Para, it's not your fault, but, like, I'm just frustrated people were spamming because of that. I hold you stole my breedable twinks. Well, what you gonna do? How you gonna get them back, huh? Huh? Shut up, Him-chan. Alright. Let's start seeing if I can do the hair without fucking this up. Supreme focus, and I fucked it up. Can I brush it away with a clean brush? A little bit, kinda. Okay. You'll invent mpreg squared. I believe it. I believe that you're capable of inventing mpreg again. You know, let's put a little bit of orange in the eyes, because it'll be like a little bit of, like, glowing, you know? You know what I should have done? I should have bought the fucking Sharpie. I considered it, I didn't do it, and now I'm regretting it. Because I feel like that would have been really good for drawing on the eyes. Because then I wouldn't have to paint them on. Now I have to paint them on. Shit blows. I don't have anything exact enough for the black paint. I mean, I could probably dip the pencil, honestly. Like, let's... Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Let's dip the pencil in the black. And we'll paint precisely using it. Yeah, that works. But yeah, I'm not sure exactly what Gunpla is. I know that my buddy Zephy Sonas really likes Gunpla, but and that he's done it on his streams before, but I've never really stuck around very long during those because I'm usually busy. Who can give me the rundown on Gunpla? Is it kind of like Bionicle? Show progress real quick? Sure. It's really hard to focus the camera, I'm sorry. Gundam model piece by piece. Interesting. Have a holly and jolly Christmas. Yes, you too. When are we gonna get our next Christmas song? And by that I mean, like, we had, like, a bunch of years in the 50s and 60s where there was a new, like, Christmas song that stuck around forever that kept getting invented. And then we had, like, our All I Want for Christmas being invented. Then after that, nothing. Nothing new. It's just everybody is making covers of those other Christmas songs. There's nothing new being made. And I, for one, want something new. I want a new Jingle Bells that isn't, like, a riff off of Jingle Bells. I don't want another Jingle Bells. I want another new song that can stand beside Jingle Bells. Because I'm just getting so bored. I don't want an Ariana Grande cover of Jingle Bell Rock. I just want something that's as good as Jingle Bell Rock. Titanfall 2 with Midas in the background is awesome. Hey, I don't know what Titanfall is, but I'll take it. Make one? Yeah. No, you will listen to the slop forever. Yeah, it feels like it. Holy shit. If I made a Christmas song, though, I don't have that kind of staying power that would make it, like, I guess Padaru is like, but the thing is that's just a cover of an existing song that's not even something new. It's a cover and a parody. It's not something new and unique, so I can't even count Padaru. I know there was an attempt at, like, Santa Tell Me by, I think that was Ariana Grande too, honestly, but that shit was so ass. Like, again, it just, I feel like it was like a reiteration of a pre-existing Christmas song. I despise All I Want for Christmas. I actually don't mind it. What I mind is the foothold it's taken. Like, I hate the... Oh god, my phone keeps falling now. I don't know why. It shouldn't be. I hate the, how culturally relevant it is, if that makes sense. It was fun, it was unique, and it was interesting. And then it's been beaten to death because advertisers got a hold of the meme. They realized it was a fun meme, and they went, oh, we can capitalize off this. Now, we will never escape it because, fuck, even Mariah Carey is in on the she's defrosting joke, and she's provided assets for that. Like, once the subject of the meme gets a hold of the meme, it either skyrockets or it becomes not fun. And this is an example of the meme no longer being fun because somebody has, like, involved themselves. You know what I want to join the pantheon of Christmas songs, unironically? Snow Halation. I want Snow Halation to go beyond being a funny Japanese meme song into being a legitimate, like, Christmas song that's played on the radios everywhere. I want to go shopping at the arts and crafts store a couple, like, hours away. I want to go to Michael's and hear Snow Halation, you know, blasting on their tinny radios, and I want to see all of the coworkers go, Frost Miser. There was a trend for the Heat Miser, Frost Miser, Snow Miser, and Heat Miser song because of TikTok, and I'm glad that the trend is very short-lived and it comes up once in a while, but people haven't really run with it. I really like the old classic stop-motion Christmas films. They were a very major part of, well, my holiday season all growing up. Very iconic. Very strangely violent and fun. Who wants to help me make a copyright-free song? Develop a copyright-free Christmas song with me? Is there any musicians in the audience that want to help me develop a copyright-free Christmas song with lyrics and try to make it a thing? Stop motion OP. I want to make... Yeah, we can make it stop motion too. Fuck. Make some stop motion claymation Midas and make the next hit Christmas song. Why weren't you at elf practice? Bet. Love that, Para. Why weren't you at elf practice? I mean, we have an elf right here. We've got an elf captain. She's never at elf practice. Okay, I'm almost done painting on the face. We're getting there. It'll take a few coats to make it look anything less than messy, but also, since I don't have green, I really can't lean into painting the helmet. So, we're gonna have to get creative there. I could, like, just make the helmet all silver. Use the silver pen. There we go. We got our little grumpy Holly. I swear to God, can you please focus? Can we remain focused, boys? Focus. Focus. There we go. You know, an interesting thing about Christmas as a discussion is that Artemis Fowl is technically a Christmas story because it takes place and it ends on Christmas Day. And in the last chapter of the book, they even talk about how, oh, it's Christmas Day, and Artemis Fowl's mother emerges from her bedroom and goes, oh my gosh, it's Christmas Day and we don't have decorations up, this is crazy. Let's hire the staff back and decorate the place for the holidays. And Artemis goes, wow. Yes, the holiday with its origins not in Christianity. Very snarky. So, just like how Die Hard is a Christmas movie, Artemis Fowl is a Christmas novel. It's always the fall season when I go back into my Artemis Fowl mood, honestly, because that was when I was a kid and I would reread it the most because school was either just starting or it was in the swing of things and I just wanted, you know, distraction. Something nice to do. I would do my little yearly reread. Even now as an adult, like the leaves turn orange and immediately I've Pavloved to go, oh, it's Artemis Fowl time again in my brain every single year, without fail. The audiobooks with the narrator with the nice accent. British accent, I think. Is Artemis Fowl peak, I dare say? Yeah, the novels are peak. The movie is absolutely horseshit and criminal. Is The Nightmare Before Christmas a Halloween or a Christmas movie? No idea, because I watched it for the first time in college and I don't even remember what it was about. I never watched it as a kid because it was a Tim Burton film and my parents really hated Tim Burton films. I was not allowed to watch it. I did watch The Corpse Bride, but that was because I snuck it into my bedroom as a child. And I had a little CRT monitor, a little pink one, and I would watch DuckTales and stuff on it in my bedroom. And I rented The Corpse Bride from the video store one day when they weren't looking. and was able to watch it that way. But no, Nightmare Before Christmas, when I watched it, it was unabashedly very mid. Very mid. Let's mix a bit of the peach and the brown for some highlights. Peach, brown. I do like Sally's song. Like, that as a song is pretty good, and I know that Amy Lee covered it from Evanescence, and she did incredible, so I do like that. Do a little highlight on the nose. Highlights under the eyes. Okay, so we're getting there, everybody. This is definitely not a vinyl pop. God, I wish this would focus. It was awesome to see Evanescence live last night. Well, fuck you. Your face tracking's insane. What level of witchcraft is this? Facial mocap and a model with good capability, and having the facial acting, overacting of a TikToker. So, I don't know. Nightmare Before Christmas, like, Sally's song was the only good takeaway I really had from it. I actually covered it a while ago. Maybe I'll re-cover it again for the new audience. I shall consider. Though, I don't know, last time I sang on broadcast, I had a bunch of you heckling me, and that made me feel real self-conscious. Am I a pussy that's scared of confrontation? Absolutely. I remember one of y'all was, like, so vicious, like, after stream, like, I was, like, actually wounded for a while. I think they ended up getting ultimately banned from the Discord because they kept, like, just saying mean shit about me. And I am a dictator. This isn't a democracy. This is about making me happy. While you don't have to suck up to me all the time, if all you do is just act like an asshole to me, I'm gonna eventually get sick of having mean things said about me. Though one guy said something really funny that clocked me, like, out of nowhere, in the comment section today, and it made me cackle. He said something along the lines of, how come all you VR chat VTubers move like you're in Wallace and Gromit? And I had to pause for a second and try and decipher what that meant. And I actually asked him what he meant, and he said it's the hands. You guys always have your hands up, like, in front of your face like this. Like, you got the Gromit-ass hand position. And I lost it. And now I am absolutely planning a claymation Wallace and Gromit style model one of these days, purely so that I can live my Wallace LARPing fantasy. Claymation looking ass. No, it was brilliant. I honestly, my brain expanded. Alright. We're getting there. I also got some, like, glow-in-the-dark Mod Podge. I'm not sure where we would apply it, but if we do, you know, I have it. So the bottom is looking very smooth. The face, I think it could use one more coat. Jeez, Gromit. Now the top, I think we're going to cover the green helmet with silver. We're just going to make it a silver helmet, and if I want green returned to it, we'll come back with new, like, different paint after the stream and repaint over top of it. I think the only green we might keep will be the visor. Claymation model that'll cost so much really depends on who we go to for a 3D modeler. Ooh, this is a nice pen. I think I only need, like, I only need, like, 2 or 3 layers for this. I was worried it would be more sheer, but no, this is like a proper paint pen. Okay. And it doesn't smell of alcohol, so I don't think it'll, like, rustle, like, they do that thing where the ink kind of you know, crunkles together and dries up because it's not sticking. Bootleg Funko? Oh, it's not bootleg. I'm making it better. Bootleg implies that I'm trying to make a Funko from scratch and make people believe it's a Funko. No, I'm taking a Funko and I'm making it worth looking at. There'll be a generation of people who don't know Wallace and Gromit. They just released a brand new Wallace and Gromit movie to streaming. I don't know if it was to Max or Netflix, but they used the very last of the Gromit clay, like, to make it. Apparently there's a very special kind of clay they use for those films, and they use the very last of it for that movie because they don't make it anymore. The company that formulates that specific kind of clay went under. Okay, so I think we are going to use, speaking of clay, we're going to use this for the helmet. Worth the versatility, though. Oh yeah, no, they're expensive, but they're worthwhile, 1,000,000,000%. Use clay like they've used before. I mean, clay degrades over time, especially when you've got like oil on your fingers, or even if you're using gloves, just moving it around a lot. When it doesn't dry, it mixes, right? And eventually it just stops being usable. Wallace and Gromit, it's a British gentleman with his pet dog and their claymation adventures, and it is silly. Okay, so we got the first half of that helmet over there. That's actually looking pretty kino. Sounds sort of like Inspector Gadget, kinda, but a bit more silly. I don't know, the only way to explain Wallace and Gromit is go watch it. You really can't explain it, you just have to experience it. The moon is made of cheese in his universe, yes. Have you ever watched Mad God 2022? I have not. I haven't watched any movies in a long time. You can ask my moderator, Scotty. How tall is the Midas model canonically? For the sake of simplicity, because I don't like keeping track of numbers, it's the same height as I am canonically, 5'4". Fantastic Mr. Fox gives me similar vibes to Wallace and Gromit. I think it was made by the same studio. I can't actually confirm if it is, but I feel like it was. I feel like I remember seeing something about that. Okay. Now, let's just push that all the way over. There we go. Push that all the way over. All right. So we've got the helmet. Now we gotta wait for the air dry clay to dry, and that'll take a while. So we'll just paint everything else, and I think after stream is when I'll finish the helmet itself. But what's important is we got the main part done. How much is 5'4" in units of measurement? It's 5 feet 4 inches. Look, just because I'm Canadian doesn't mean that I speak in centimeters all the time. It's easier for me. Where I live in Canada, it was always like your height was never measured in centimeters. It was always in feet and inches for some reason. So that's just how I got used to doing it. All through elementary school, that was how it was done. Ooh, if I actually run the pen up on top of this texture, it makes it metallic and it leaves the underneath still matte. Gives it a nice metal grail effect. So let's do that. Let's just run the ink over top. Oh, I think not. It's never to become, for I am not the one. So, it's difficult being an independent VTuber of my kind of size that, you know, has no real hardcore ties to something larger. Because when you want to put on an event or do something slightly bigger than yourself, it requires a lot of funding. And if you don't want to reach into your community to grab funding from them, you have to look for sponsors. And you have to reach out to companies. You have to e-beg in a professional way. And a lot of times, if you're an indie that has only put on small scale events, or you don't have any like notoriety behind your name, they just don't take you seriously, or they are hesitant to take you seriously because they have nothing to bank on that you will be successful. So, Whitus is part of a large scale thing I'm going to be putting on. You guys can all be excited for, but holy shit, it is probably the most time-consuming, difficult thing I've ever done. Especially since it is, to this point, entirely self-funded. You're going to be seeing quite a few creators. Some that you might recognize, some that you might not. Some bigger, some smaller. And it's going to be really ambitious. It's going to be over the top, but I think it'll be one of the best things I've ever done. And I hope that you guys, you know, stick around and enjoy it for what it's worth. Because it's rough out here in these streets. Will we get a Whitus reference? As the day gets closer to the event, you are not going to be seeing just Whitus. You're going to be starting to see a lot of things. You will get not only a Whitus reference, you will start getting Whitus content as well. I really can't say much more than that. But at least for now. In the next week or so, maybe 2 or 3 weeks, things will be a little bit further along in the pipeline where I can start actually advertising the event. And I don't think you guys are ready. You guys will not see this coming. But basically, I'm living out a long-time VTuber dream of mine through this event. I've always wanted to host something. I've always wanted to do something over the top, and I've always wanted to be the bad guy. And so I'm literally hosting an event where I get to be the bad guy, and it is so exciting. It is so exciting. And all the people I'm working with are so talented. The creators I've pulled on for it. The sweetest, most entertaining, and most patient people I'm working with. So talented. So silly. Sounds like a blast. Eviler Midas, let's go. Diabolical Midas. Okay. But yeah. It took 4 years to get to this point, though, independently. It's been a long haul. Sometimes I imagine how long or short of a timeline it would have been to get to this point if I had been attached to something. But having those kind of thoughts isn't entirely productive. Whitus is the same height as me. Okay. So let's see. It should be dry enough to do a little bit of touch-up. Honestly, I might go over the ink thing with a bit of paint, and then... Yeah, because that just rubs the ink right off. So I'm gonna mix that. Then when it dries, it should be a bit more solid, and it'll take the ink better. Okay. But yeah, you're going to be seeing familiar faces to the channel. You're going to be seeing some of the people that I consider friends. Some of them are going to be brand new to the channel that you've never seen here before, but you've probably seen around if you're in the VTubing space. As well, I'm going to be having a couple of collabs coming up soon. I know I'm having one with Para soon. And I'm also having one... Oh, I can't remember the date off the top of my head. But they'll be announced properly on Twitter. Or I'm going to be on other people's channels. Okay. Let's just make that skin nice and flat. I'm going to blend out that harsh line. There we go. There, now we can do our touch-ups. We are on the end. Yeah, fuck it. Now we're just gonna put some white paint on here. This visor will be the death of me. The vizier. And then we'll put her in her corner so she can dry a little bit. Yeah, and you know what? While we're at it, let's just paint this back green part white as well. We're gonna make her helmet silver, might as well. We are so close, bros. We are so close. Oh yeah, I'm so close. I'm so close. And it feels like I am just too close to love you. Okay, and let's detail the eyes again. Their raw was completely wasted. Out of work and down. Deep inside, it's so frustrating. Drifting town to town. You know, just before I started broadcast today, YouTube was recommending me a bunch of stuff about Randy Stair. You know, the guy who was really into Amber McLean and caused a mass shooting. Interesting guy. Wild to think that he was a YouTuber for a long time. Will YouTube do that to all of us? I don't think I'll be the next Randy Stair. But, there will be another Randy Stair out there, probably. There always will be. Just wonder who the next one is. I wonder, does Randy Stair count as a lol cow? Or a horror cow, I guess, because he committed, like, a mass killing? I guess he's dead, though. Can dead people be considered lol cows? YouTube was recommending them to me as well. Okay, so YouTube is just like on a Randy Stair kick, I guess. YouTube's just like, hey guys, look at what we made. We're so proud. We're so proud. Look at who we made. Can't believe YouTube's proud that they made Randy Stair. That's crazy. So proud they got to show it off to everyone, like a mother whose son's ugly artwork is up on the fridge, and whenever the guests come, shows them the artwork that's on the fridge. Look what my son drew. Except it's YouTube going, look at what we created. We made Randy stare. Are you so proud of us, everybody? That's how my evil little machinations in the back of my mind like to think, you know? Likes to think that there's something diabolical behind everything. Although usually there isn't, it's more fun to think it is. Life is more fun and exciting when you're scared of everything. If you're not worried about a single thing in your life, then life becomes very dull very fast because you have this level of safety that nothing is ever a risk or a gamble to you. And what's life without a little bit of gamba? Dull, that's what it is. I can't imagine living a life where I trust absolutely everything. I would become the most insufferable kind of person I see. I mean, I know. People who blindly trust everything that everyone ever says, you know, they're naive, but they also are the most hurt when their trust is betrayed. And I don't like getting hurt. Alright, and since, you know, I've got all this extra orange, let's have some of her hair peeking out from under here. Have some hair under here as well. Because why not? Nobody can stop me. Oh, you guys can't even see it on camera. Oh well. Alright, and we'll dip back into the brown just for a last little coating on the ear. Just to cover up the mistakes I made with the orange. Oops, oops. Oh no, that's making my mistakes worse! That's making my mistakes worse! It's okay, just paint the whole ear orange and nobody can tell that it's the wrong kind of color. There is no such thing as a wrong color here. Every color is an excellent color. It just has to be deployed properly. Okay. A little bit of a highlight. A little bit of a low light. A little bit of a blending even. Awesome. Alright. So, we gotta wait for this to dry. But what's left is now I have to paint the helmet after that dries. I have to redo some sharp lines with the black, which I think I'll do with Sharpie. And I gotta do some highlights. So, Holly is about 70% done for the head. And after that, gotta figure out how exactly I'm gonna... Ooh, wait, what if I... So I'm brainworming here, but like, while this is wet, I could like... pinch this down. And that gives me somewhere to rest them on, like the glasses, without actually having it touch the skin. So they do work more like helmet goggles. That is such big brain of me. Glad I did it. Alright, I pinched it down so now it has a place to sit. And now I'm putting this back on its drying rack, and we wait. Actually, I'll just put you like this. There we go. Alright, and I think Holly will need to take a few hours to dry now. So, while we're waiting for Holly to dry, I've got the rest of this model magic that I'm going to throw out if I don't use, so let's make shit with it. Let's see. I've got all this. What am I going to do with it? And I've got her body, but I don't really want to edit the body. Have you made her a neutrino pistol? Ooh, we could make her a neutrino pistol, actually. That's a great idea. Question is how? Did the Disney movie do an original plot too? It did. We went over that in the first hour and a bit of the stream. Issue with the neutrino pistol is I'm not entirely sure. There was multiple different ways that it was described in the book, and I honestly don't have a preferred visual. A lot of people like to depict it looking like one of those super soaker guns, but make it a laser gun. Sounds like you're talking about Rias. What are we talking about? Sorry, chat? I'm very lost. Time to try to sleep to this. Alright, have a good sleep. Alright. Let's try and figure out... maybe there's like casing. The whole point of the neutrino guns is that they harvest nuclear energy. Night chat, night Midas. Nighty do! Is Rios a neutrino pistol? I've decided to hoe out and make a loif for myself because your stream of butchering a Funko Pop doll and turning it into a man-made horror has made me realize how much my life has fallen. That's crazy. Good luck hoeing yourself out. Let's see. No, I don't like that. What if we make it smaller? Twist. Okay, so there we have like the actual pod. What about the actual shaft? What paint medium did you use to paint your brother and Crowbar that other stream? I just used acrylic. I didn't use anything lasting. I used cheap dollar store acrylic because that's just all I had on hand. Also, did I hear nuclear power? Yes. In Artemis Fowl, there is a ray gun that the fairies have in their police task force called the neutrino guns. Fun thing is I use my gift stolen from the Discord, and now my friends that don't even speak English use the gifts in the group chat, and it's hilarious. W. Let's poison all the normies, everyone. No, I'm not liking the way this gun looks. I feel like there was a blueprint for one in here. Let's take a peek, everybody. Let's take a peek. Alright. In we go. Where are the blueprints? Oh, whoops. No, I don't want the alphabet. Now I can find the alphabet. Okay, there's the lip. Okay, yeah, no, they don't have the neutrino blueprints in here. Are the graphic novels canon? Interestingly enough, the graphic novels got a reboot. So yes and no, they're considered kind of canon. Could do it based off the description given. See, people take the description differently. The issue with me is that I'm just not good with designing or drawing guns, and so trying to make one, even based off a description, is going to be difficult for me. Especially since it's a very fantasy kind of gun. texture. I'm not loving it. I think maybe it might not be entirely beneficial for me to attempt to make a neutrino. What about... Can't draw guns. I may not be able to illustrate them, but if they're at my hip, I can draw them. Drip matters in fantasy art. Handle should be thicker than the barrel. I mean, hey, since we were making a Funko Pop head, why don't we make our own head, huh? Why don't we make a head, everybody? Make a little Artemis that she can crush. First time watching your stream? It's a broadcast, but thank you. Welcome. I'm struggling to make stuff out of this air dry clay because I suck. Yeah, I'm not going to the kitchen to get tinfoil, and I'm not going to hunt around to get wire. We are going to try and make this ball, well, this shell work. Maybe we could have this as like a makeshift stand, right? Air dry clay gives me the PTSD of trying to make it work. Real? Okay, so what I'll do, I'll recreate a little bit of ground where she's going to be standing, and it's going to be the scene in the book where she gets a poison, like, she gets darted when she's trying to find the acorn, and basically she gets kidnapped because they use tranquilizer on her. So we're going to be trying to recreate the tranquilizer scene. Okay, so let's make sure that her feet have a solid place to be printed. Make sure there's the river. And let's, like, make harsh digs into the river so that it's, like, very solidly river. Okay. And then let's heck around with some rocks. River rocks. Alright, chat, I'm thinking we're getting close to time, and I think we're all getting a little bit sleepy. Because I have a plan for it, I'm going to be releasing some videos very, very soon. One of them will be based off of this broadcast, but other ones will be ones that you've been waiting for a while. Again, I've been a very busy creature the last little bit. I think you should all be proud of me. Butler for the win, maybe painted a full moon on the background paper or a photo. Ooh. Maybe. Butler was always one of the best parts of the series, for real. But yeah, I'm so happy I got YouTube to work. You have no idea how fucking worried I was. Because Twitch is suboptimal and likes to punish people, and YouTube is my home. YouTube is the place where I finally found, you know, what I wanted to do in this stupid, scary rat race of VTubing. And it would suck if it stopped working. Okay, so we're just making the rock pattern at the bottom of the water now. I tell ya, cellophane, Mr. Cellophane, should have been my name, Mr. Cellophane. You can look right through me, walk right by me, and never know I'm there. Okay, we are so close. We are so close, boys. We are so close. Instead of like, hi, I'm so close, it's you gotta use like the air traffic control pilot voice, like, ladies and gentlemen, we are so close. Okay. So there, I've got like a nice rock texture. So that should go pretty nicely. Alright, and I'll go set this to dry by the air conditioner as well. I'll bring back Holly for a final hurrah, and then we'll go find somebody to raid for Twitch. Don't lie, YouTube views give you more money. Juan Cracks, you clearly haven't been here that long. My CPM is so dog shit. I have shown my CPM to other YouTubers and they go white in the face. I make no money off of my views. The only money I make are off donations once in a while from people who want to support. That is it. I make $0 off of YouTube. I have been heavily demonetized. And that's entirely because I choose to say things the way I say them. I choose to swear, I choose to use funny gamer words, I choose to talk about sensitive topics. So no, I'm not lying. It's not about the money. You know why? It can't be. The only way I get money from YouTube is things like super chats and donations through Ko-Fi. And that's not even YouTube, that's Ko-Fi. YouTube views, on average, when you've got the viewership I have, if I was fully monetized, my 300k video could have made like over $1,000, if not more. But the way it is, I did not make that. I didn't make anything near that. Let's stretch. It's about the Mets, baby! Alright, let's put this over here. Let's grab Holly back. Is she dry? Kinda. I'll work on her after stream. So here is where we ended. Probably click her on her body now. There we go. She already looks so much less uncanny. And when I get proper photos of her where she's not blurry as shit, I think you guys will appreciate it. So we just need to wait for this to dry so I can paint it silver and add details on the helmet. And I will use a pen to outline all of the parts of the face. Let's put her visor on. Oh my god, guys. Look at her! That's Captain Short! Alright. Let's go find someone to raid. Stretch! But before we do that, let's check Supas one last time. Because I just remembered that. What do you think about the growth you've been getting in these last few months? It scares the shit out of me because I'm confused as to what I need to do. Big brain to body ratio, for real. She hates us. You know what, Twitter? You're right. I hate all of you. I hate all of you. You all suck. You all suck, which is why I'm gonna be jettisoning you off to another streamer, broadcaster, even. All right, Dog Sweaters Monthly. Thank you for joining Fancy Dooders. Yeah, when you were talking about your new White Midas collab, you said you were gonna get friends and other people. Yes. All right. Thank you for coming today, everybody. And I'll be seeing you soon. Yes, Ouch Midas with a bunch of those of the funny emojis is the Twitch raid message. And who are we going to raid today? Is the question. I'm thinking. Oh, whoops. Ew, is that how I sound? That's crazy. Let's see, who's live? Who's live? Ah, 6 is live. Oh, so is Zeus. Let's raid Zeus. Zeus is playing Zenless Zone 0. Now, Zeus is one of my buddies that are part of the group Mythos. And I think that you guys, if you guys like me, you'll like the Mythos girls. The Mythos girls, pretty harmonious creatures, if I do say so myself. Paste. Just gotta type. No, not say so. I feel like I'm pretty say so if I do say so myself. Of course, I misspell raid. Is that right? Raid. Enter. There we go. Alright, Ouch Midas, everybody. Ouch Midas. See you soon. And